Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. As always, I'm grateful for every one of you that watch my videos. So, I have not started my podcast yet. I've been really busy and focused on something else right now, but that is going to start coming in May. So, this is why it's like you have to prioritize certain things right now and continue to do so with whatever it is you're working on. So, as we move into this week, we are entering into the full moon in Scorpio. This is going to be a dark night of the soul, very transformational time for you, even more. So, before we begin, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel and make some comments, like the video, let me know what's going on with you guys and so on, because there's a lot more coming up in the world, right? So make sure you guys watch the predictions video I did back in December 2025. A lot of things have happened and is continuing to happen and so on and so on. So now let's get excited about this week. Anytime there's a transformation, really take a look at it as, you know what, this is a really big opportunity for me. Transformation can be really challenging, can be really hard and such. However, it comes down to taking things one step at a time. That's right, one step at a time. So, you know how I just mentioned podcast, that I was going to start it at towards the end of April. Just certain things come up where I'm like, okay, I got to focus on this right now because it's a priority. So continue to pay attention because things come up. If you watch that last video I did, unexpected, expect the unexpected, plot twist coming in and so on. So when things suddenly come up, it's like, oh my gosh, I have to deal with this. So certain things could have changed the last minute. I mean, I know I had to schedule a couple of things at the last minute because something came up and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I have to take this, I have to take this appointment because the next appointment would have been like 2, 3 weeks away. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So certain things we have to look at priority and such like that. And you can always work around that. So how many of you guys notice last minute changes, unexpected things coming up, plot twists? Stay positive no matter what it is. Take a look at your challenges as a way to shift and move forward. Because when you work with these energies, such as the Scorpio full moon, it will work with you. Oh, Spirit, I'm surrendering this. I know it's going to be hard to make these changes or whatever it is. However, I'm keeping a positive mindset and I'm moving forward. So this is why I do these videos, because when you do work with the energy, it works with you. It really does. We're moving into spring season, hopefully here. That's why I put my photography in the background of one of my flower photos. We do have snow coming in, but I'm close by the mountains. So we will get more snow and so on and so on at any given time. It's not a surprise where I'm at. So now the 25th and 26th of April, what's happening? Really pay attention to the messages on these days. Really listen to what comes in. It can be life changing. This is the time to say, okay, let me just kind of think, before making this decision with something. If it feels right, yes, that's the direction for you. Your soul is your inner GPS system, you guys. Do what feels is right for you, because you will be seeing a lot more truths coming out. You're going to see your worth more. There's been a lot of sudden endings with relationships. Wow, a lot of things being exposed in relationships. Do not ignore those red flags. Uh, you know, I talk to a lot of different people and such every day, and my heart just goes out to certain people because they're in very toxic relationships. And so, we all have different lessons we have to go through. And sometimes we have to continue to go through certain relationships or situations until we're like, I'm done. I know my worth more. I just, I can't do this. So you might even find on the 25th and 26th and the 27th and 28th, by the way, can be a lot more romantic, a lot of sensual energy right now. We're in Taurus season. You know, it can actually bring you and your partner closer together to form a really nice bond. Maybe you've just met somebody and you're like, you know, I really like this person. I'm feeling that soul connection, you know, soul tribes. You know, I've met recently new people myself in the month of April. And I'm like, yes, I'm very drawn, very soul tribe. I can see that with these new people and so on. Listen to that right now, you know, because right now there's a lot of breakthroughs, sudden breakthroughs. Sudden breakthroughs are really good. So reflect on past lessons learned. You know, whenever we reflect back on lessons learned, it gives you more wisdom. It gives you more courage to face things. Of, you know what, I'm going to handle this situation differently now, like no matter what it is. That's what lessons are for. Lessons are painful, yes. However, look at the gift it brings with what you're truly learning through that. Like I have to start something again myself, and I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, here we go again. However, you know, we all have our own journey with things. Health is your number one priority, health and wellness. Without health, nothing's going to make a difference moving forward. So make sure you prioritize what's really important right now. So the 27th and 28th, as I'm saying, bring a lot of attraction, chemistry, and sensuality for you lucky guys and women, lucky birds. So pay attention to that. So this is more connected as well to long-term changes, setting new plans, building future foundations. You know, you've been showing for quite some time, oh, you know, I want to go that direction, or gosh, I need to make these changes, or pay attention to where you get pulled. You know, like I've been seeing that even more and more myself. It's just like every time I see this, I'm like, oh God, oh, pay attention to that. You know, building foundations that are very solid takes time. It's like building a home. You can't just slap it up in one day, it's going to fall down. So as you're building your future foundation, it takes time, has to be stable. You have to do research. You have to look at everything involved. And this is with anything right now, like whatever foundation you're trying to build. And this is when you're also going to be doing, oh my gosh, like I have to let this go. I have to let my job or my person or certain things go right now. And it's going to get more intense this week as we're leading to this full moon. So really look at it. You know, Spirit, please give me the courage and the willpower to work through this or to end this. Gosh, I need help again. I'm struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. Have trust, have faith, no matter what. You know, think positive, keep your mindset positive. We go through those negative mindsets. We all do. We're human beings, you know, like we all have situations and stuff we have to work through no matter what it is. You know what I mean? If you're lucky enough to have a partner that's truly there for you, that's amazing. I have my dog. I have my little Valentino. I actually started a video earlier. I actually started a video earlier, but I kept freezing with Valentino in it. So I had to stop it. So hopefully we can get through this video with ease. So I might kind of shorten it a little bit because of the freezing situation. So now as we're moving into the 29th and 30th, sleep is going to be off. Sleep is going to be off and on. Full moon energy, soul searching, You're going to want to take these leaps forward, giant leaps forward and quantum leaps. Trust it. Keep moving forward no matter how hard it is, especially when you're making changes. You have to do what's right for you. You know, things can significantly change right now for you guys. You know, really look back into the beginning of the year, January 1st, even towards the end of December. What's going on now? What did you change, like significantly change or do? What happened? You could be seeing those results now in a really good way. And if you didn't make certain changes that you knew you had to, you're also going to be showing that, which can make it more emotional. So, this is why this dark night of the soul is happening this week for you. Be gentle on yourself, really reflect back on everything, especially what wasn't working. Release it, let it go. Listen to your heart, especially right now, of the direction forward, but listen to your head at the same time. Oh, I want to make this change or whatever. Is it a positive direction? If it's not, if you're still dealing with a toxic relationship, there's not going to be change at all. A lot of truth was exposed recently of who your partner is. You know, it can be a really good change. It can be like, wow, my partner's so amazing. We've got this closer bond now. Or you could have been showing toxic traits. Pay attention to that. That person is showing you more of who they are. You know, we can't judge people. However, if you want to stay in that, there's not going to be changes. Things can get really worse, especially this year. So now is the time to really take that step back. A lot of cycles are ending right now because the universe is redirecting you for your evolution, for your growth, huge transformational changes under this full moon in Scorpio. It's also known as the flower moon. So this is why I also put up a photo of the flowers. This is one of my um, photography. I do photography as well. So this is one of my photos. If you go to my website, my new website, all of the photos and art is what I've taken, and my artwork is what I've done. So really pursue your passions, no matter what it is. You know, I've talked to different people with, you know, they're like, you know, I have all these ideas, and I'm like, you know, that's amazing. Follow your heart of what resonates with you because that's your destiny. That's the path that you're supposed to be walking on. Be very careful who you're sharing your ideas with. You know, I've always said, you know, people say, what are you working on? Projects, things. You know, I learned that lesson the hard way many years ago, and I won't do it again. You know, I work on lots of things. There you go. It's up now. You can check it out if you're interested. So this is when you're going to be facing even more truth right now. You could end things on you could end things on this full moon as well. So be very mindful and careful right now with certain decisions you're making. If it feels right, really go towards that. So I notice we're starting to freeze up a little bit here. So I'm just going to pull just maybe a card or so because, you know, there's a lot of interference right now with so-called leaders and the internet and all of that. They're watching you. They just want to know everything you're doing. But I'm not even going to talk about that. So what's coming up the 25th to the of April to the 1st of May? The pig card fell down. Maintain self-worth and self-esteem. Oh my gosh. What did I talk about? You're going to see your self-worth even more right now. Self-love. I don't deserve that. No, I'm done here. You know, like I'm an observer. I know when somebody's lying. I know when somebody's not being truthful. I witness a lot in my mind. I see a lot and I don't talk about it. You know, I observe a lot of different things. So now this pig also represents archangels Mary, Gabrielle, and Uriel. I don't use cards when I'm with a client. I'm a clairvoyant psychic medium. So I read into your energy, your level of consciousness, and so on. and I channel and work with the Christ consciousness. So you can read more about that on my website. I've had many near-death experiences as well. So I'm gonna cut this video a little short just because it's kind of been on and off with freezing. So make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Let me know what's going on with you. Like the video. A lot more things are coming up for you. Follow me on Instagram, Jenny G Cousins. Go to my new website, soulworkwithjennyg.com. My old website is gone. So namaste, you guys.